This is RTV6 News at 6, working for you.
Tonight, police are investigating the tragic shooting of a 16-year-old girl killed Saturday early this morning, actually, after she was hit by a stray bullet. Thanks for joining us. I'm Nicole Griffin. IMPD says the girl was inside a vehicle with her family when that stray bullet hit her. It happened just before 1 o'clock this morning on East 38th Street near North Arlington Avenue. The girl was rushed to the hospital in critical condition and died from her injuries. Tonight, her name has not been released. Police spent the entire morning in the area with streets blocked off as the investigation continues. We talked to the pastor of New Direction Church, which is located right down the street from the crime scene on East 38th Street. He doesn't know if he knows the victim or her family, but he has this message for the community.
First and foremost, I would encourage people, if you know something, say something, because we all have to be considerate of this family, and we have to put ourselves in the shoes of her family, because if your loved one or your friend was taken away from you, you would want someone to come forward. So we always encourage people, if you have information, then go to the proper authorities and share with them what you know. And if perhaps you're a little bit afraid of that, then you can always reach out as well. Call the church.
Kenneth Sullivan Jr., who you just heard from, has been the pastor at New Direction Church for 14 years, and he says the community is connected and there is a lot of love and pride. So he hopes someone does the right thing and comes forward. You can call Crime Stoppers at 317-262-TIPS with any information.
This is senseless. It is senseless, and we got to stop this madness that we're seeing in the community, particularly during a period of time where the governor and the mayor said we're supposed to be at home.
Tonight, Reverend Charles Harrison, the president of the Indianapolis 10-Point Coalition, is concerned about large gatherings happening in parking lots around the city. Harrison was sent photos and videos of a meetup with hundreds of cars in the strip mall at East 38th Street and North Arlington Avenue last night. This is the same area where that 16-year-old girl was shot. Tonight, police are not saying whether or not the shooting was connected to this gathering. Reverend Harrison says a similar meetup happened Friday night at 38th and Illinois streets, and police had to disperse that group. He says with the COVID-19 pandemic, this is not healthy for people to be meeting up, getting out of their cars, and not practicing social distancing.
The second concern that I had was that these large gatherings like this tend to create a public safety issue too. And there were other videos last night of young people fighting with each other at that location. And then sadly, when I heard this morning that a 16-year-old was shot and killed in that same area, you know, it really concerned me that people were gathering in these large numbers and not really being responsible with the COVID-19 and not maintaining social distancing, but yet also it tends to produce violence that tragically may have led to the death of a 16-year-old.
Reverend Harrison says when children and young adults meet up in large groups, they put themselves at risk and put their loved ones who they go home to at risk as well. He's also concerned that if it stretches the resources of law enforcement when they have to respond to meetups like this one, on top of other emergencies across the city. Now let's get to the latest numbers on the COVID-19 and its impact on Indiana. The state health department says the death toll is now 1,132. The number of confirmed cases in our state is getting closer to 20,000. More than 108,000 people have been tested so far in Indiana. The state health department will host drive-through COVID-19 testing clinics this week at 5 sites around the state. The clinics will run from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. Monday and Tuesday in East Chicago, and 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. Wednesday through Saturday in Lafayette, Newcastle, Plymouth, and Seymour. The clinics are open to symptomatic healthcare workers, first responders, and essential workers. Testing will also be available to symptomatic people who live with one of those workers, along with people who have COVID-19 symptoms and underlying medical concerns that put them at higher risk. We have the list of locations on the IndyChannel.com. Just click on the story on the homepage. Dozens of Indianapolis churches are collaborating to spread hope during the pandemic. Troy Washington is working for you to explain the launch expected to bring positivity to the Circle City.
And everything that's been important to people has been knocked out from under them. I mean, athletics, sports, entertainment, travel, academics. I mean, I can just keep going down the line, is all gone. And so it leaves people with an uncertainty.
According to Pastor Steve Poe, people are searching right now for encouragement. And that's exactly what dozens of churches are banding together to bring Hoosiers in need of a pick-me-up during the pandemic.
There is power in numbers. We already see physically around 3,000 people that come to St. Luke's every Sunday. And with this pandemic, we've seen double that amount tuning into our online worship services. And on Easter, we had over 10,000 people joining us for online worship. And so what we know is that people are searching and looking for spiritual connection and for community.
Like Poe, Nicole Caldwell-Gross is hoping that joining forces to share positive messages during the pandemic will lift even more spirits. The Hope for Indy campaign was created by Fishhook, a team committed to being an extension of those ministering the gospel. The team has created a place for all churches to share stories of encouragement to feed people spiritually.
This has created more collaboration. So typically we would not hear of 30 churches all doing something together like this. And I think that this pandemic has taught us that denominational lines, other differences, it doesn't matter. What matters is bringing the hope of Jesus Christ to people.
Working for you, Troy Washington, RTV6.
Troy, thank you. To learn more about Hope for Indy and to see participating churches, just go to theindychannel.com. And as the pandemic continues, Spay-Neuter Services of Indiana is launching a campaign to help struggling veterinary clinics across the state. The Fix is In Crisis Relief Fund is a $100,000 emergency relief effort for Indiana's veterinary clinics hit hard by the COVID-19 pandemic. Many nonprofit clinics operate on tight budgets and are facing economic hardships due to closures like many other small businesses during the stay-at-home order. Vet clinics did reopen last Monday. Spay-Neuter Services of Indiana will now use money from the relief fund to provide free spay and neuter surgery certificates to rescue groups and shelters to make sure their surgery schedules are filled and as many animals as possible are being fixed.
Once they are done fostering, we are going to have a backlog of people that need to have those animals fixed before they can move them to their permanent homes. We also have community cats out in the field that are reproducing and bringing litters. And this is the time of year, springtime, when mama cats have a lot of litters and we can easily be inundated. It's a really bad time to not be able to do the surgeries.
In effort to reach their goal of $100,000, they need your support. We do have a link up right now on the RTV6 app with ways you can donate. The first $100,000 will be matched by a donor. Now to your Storm Team 6 forecast with meteorologist Kyle Mounds. Turned into a nice Sunday, Kyle.
Yeah, really pretty nice weather out there this afternoon, Nicole, but Storm Team 6 radar is getting a little active once again. This time, not with so much in the way of thunderstorms, but some light to moderate rain. As we take you on a tour of Storm Team 6 radar, you can see where we've got that rain, Greenwood through Shelbyville into Newcastle, and then more rain back into the Frankfort, Kokomo, and Tipton areas. It's really done a number on our temperatures. We were at 70 last hour, 62 right now in Indy. May want to put off that walk for a little while longer, but how can you say no to that? Phase Marshall is ready to go. Rain chances tapering off by 9 o'clock, but more to come in the 7-day forecast.
Kyle, thank you. He was a familiar and beloved face here at WRTV. Tonight, we remember local TV icon Jim Gerard, who passed away this weekend.
And I'm Dave First. Who knows when the NBA will get back into a gym? Until then, the man they call country with the Pacers giving back in a very big way. That story coming up in our Sports Extra Spotlight.
CERF.org.
This is RTV6 News at 6, working for you.
Tonight, we want to mark the passing of a Channel 6 veteran and local broadcast legend, someone who brought music, celebrity interviews, and a little humor into your daily lives in the 60s and 70s. Jim Gerard.
Live from the Channel 6 studios, the Jim Gerard Show with Charlotte Daniels, the George Nikoloff Orchestra, and Jim's special guests. And now, here's Jim.
Good morning. Good
We received word today that Jim died Friday from 1962 to 1976. He was a WFBM, WRTV, Channel 6 TV and radio host, best known for the Jim Gerard Show that hit the air in 1966. It was a weekday talk show broadcast live from the Channel 6 studio that attracted some of the biggest names at the time. Bob Hope, the Gabor sisters, Carol Channing, Vice President Hubert Humphrey, Liberace, and the Amazing Kreskin, just to name a few. Jim also had his own band, the George Nikoloff Orchestra. We caught up with Jim almost exactly a year ago as part of the Channel 6's 70th anniversary celebration, and he remembered it fondly.
What happened in the course of a day, get to be about noon, and George would have his musicians warming up, and it would reverberate all around the station, all this wonderful music. Anybody who was anybody, they came to us.
Jim won numerous awards for the show while at Channel 6, including a Casper Award for Public Service. He is also a member of the Indiana Broadcasters Hall of Fame. Jim died Friday at the age of 93. He is survived by 3 daughters and a son. Due to COVID-19 restrictions, there will be a full life celebration at a later date. Kyle.
And Nicole, we had some sunshine out there this afternoon, but things have really changed as we look out over Indianapolis. We've got the gray skies and some rain showers, and those temperatures have fallen from the middle 70s now to just 62, and that wind is out of the northwest at 10 miles per hour. You've actually dropped into the 50s already in Greencastle, 10 degrees warmer in Muncie, and Connorsville, you're holding on to 72 degrees right now, but that's going to be changing as the wet weather moves into your neighborhood as well. Right now, you've got some of that light rain in Knightstown, also around Muncie. It stretches back into Franklin and also to the northwest of the city around Zionsville and Kokomo, dealing with some of that rain out there this evening. TrueCast shows it will slide through fairly quickly. In fact, by 10 o'clock, we're dry and we're pulling back that blanket of cloud cover. So skies are going to clear out tonight. That does set us up for a little cooler night of temperatures. Will drop down into the middle 40s. So tomorrow morning, you might want to have that jacket. We will not have any issues as far as rain goes. In fact, tomorrow's likely to be our pick of the week. So if you're working from home, may want to work from the patio here. We start off the day with lots of sunshine. That'll warm our temperatures close to 60 degrees at noon. We'll get into the middle 60s and gradually increase the clouds, but I think we're dry into the afternoon. High temperatures 67 in Columbus, middle 60s for you in Muncie, and 66 in Lafayette. Here's a look at TrueCast. We talked about those clouds increasing. This is 9 o'clock tomorrow night. We've got the clouds. May see a few showers over southwestern areas, but more widespread rain moves in Tuesday morning, and it will kind of be a showery and gray day for us, but the rain should be fairly light as it moves through. The bigger impact is going to be the temperatures. Look at that Tuesday forecast. We are not going to get out of the 50s. In fact, I had to find some dandelions there just to brighten up that forecast a little bit. And the pattern not going to change a whole lot. Sets us up as we go into next weekend, next Saturday and Sunday. We could have some frost both mornings, so just kind of be aware of that. Put it all together now in your 7-day planning forecast. Looking pretty good again tomorrow. Middle 60s. Cooler Tuesday and Wednesday as those showers move back into the forecast. Briefly improving on Thursday. We'll have some sunshine and 63. But going into Mother's Day weekend next weekend, going to be a little cool with highs only in the 50s, Nicole.
Kyle, thank you. Gumbo, makshu, and etouffee. Some taste of New Orleans can be found at one of Indy's favorite restaurants, and the man serving them up has a personality just as big as those flavors. We'll show you how Yats is staying open coming up. Over the last month, we've been showing you some area restaurants that have continued serving their customers and communities. One of those places has carved out a loyal bunch of fans over the years with some big flavors from way down south. Brad Brown takes us inside.
You could walk right by this little shop on the south end of Broad Ripple, but those in the know that some of Indy's best food is inside.
Our customers have been so understanding and so generous with the staff. And, man, I'm lucky I got these few kids that still want to work. This guy, that they still, are here working. And and making it happen.
This first location of Yats opened in 2001. Now they're all over the area. While some of those locations are closed for now, the ones that are open keep the Bayou flavors flowing.
Just wanted to, just like, get grounded somewhere and just be in business where, it was not complicated and it could make a living and just kind of get along.
Joe is at the heart of it all, one of the great characters of Indy's restaurant community.
I don't know, like this guy, where are you going with that bicycle, man? What? The guy in here earlier, he wanted to buy a couple $100 worth of gift certificates. And I said, no, man, we're okay. What if I die? I said, you're going to get jugged for the $200.
A little bit Cajun, a little bit Creole. Even if you don't know what it is, once you taste Yats, chances are you'll be back.
A lot of this stuff was from my mother, and people, they were cooks. Everybody was with my sister's a great cook, The white chili's from my wife. She's from Wisconsin. I don't know what happened there.
And an expert tip, get the extra bread.
The people, that's one of the things I love about Indiana, I love about Indianapolis, is the people, Next month, I'll be doing this for 50 years or half a century. So many times the people are really grateful that you open. They leave and they say, thank you for being here. Thank you for being open.
Joe says he has no plans of slowing down anytime soon, wants to just keep on serving his customers as long as he can. Along with takeout, Yats is offering Pop Your Trunk curbside pickup at most of their locations. You can find that information and order online on their website. Working for you, Brad Brown, RTV6.
Period.
Bell Tire.
The NBA season remains on hold, and that includes the Pacers, who remain hopeful the season will resume at some point. Until then, many in the organization are doing their part to help those who need it, including one behind the scenes. Call it Country's Cause. Sports Director Dave First with the Sports Extra Spotlight.
One day this will return, and for most, can't come soon enough. That includes Pacers equipment manager Josh Conder, the man known as Country.
Where did the nickname Country come from?
Larry Bird gave it to me. So when Larry Legend gives you a nickname, you got to keep it.
Well, I just love the fact that Larry Bird, who isn't exactly city, is naming you Country. So
exactly.
And for now, Country has turned in his usual duties for one, let's face it, that's way more important to the times.
How did all of this begin?
The front office on both sides of the business and basketball had a meeting with all their employees and said, what can you guys do to better yourself or learn something new during this time? And I was thinking, I've always wanted to learn how to sew.
I'm a sewing blogger.
But it was more than that. After turning to some YouTube videos and picking it up quickly, he used the skill to make 100 masks for the area's homeless, turning them over to IMPD officer Sean Holmes to distribute. But then he turned towards healthcare workers.
The masks, they're pretty specific about what goes into it, how much protection there is.
So Josh started adding the required layers for further protection. And from there,
I needed more fabric. So I got this Pacer fabric.
Look at that.
It turned out to be like this.
That's pretty cool.
That, and then I got some of this other fabric down here that I'm going to make some more with.
Today, Country is turning out 20 to 30 a day, delivering them to assisted living homes and emergency rooms back in his hometown of Terre Haute. The new sewing machine he bought rarely gets a break.
What does it mean to you to be a part of something like this? Who knows when we're going to get back to basketball?
It feels good, to be honest with you. I mean, it's really neat, and I'm ready for whenever it starts back up, but this is helping me pass the time, and I just want to help out people that help us out so much.
He's used to watching assists, now providing some big ones of his own. Day First, RTV6 Sports.
Dodging some raindrops out there this evening, but sets us up for a really nice Monday. We're going to start off with some sunshine and those temperatures warming into the middle 60s. Rain chances going to hold off until we get into our Tuesday. Nicole?
Kyle, thank you, and thank you so much for joining us. We'll see you back here tonight at 11. Have a great night.